13,476 kilometers and approximately 30 hours of travel stand between Venice and the south of the world. Isla Grande de Tierra del Fuego is the main island of the Fueguian archipelago. It is located in the extreme south of the American continent, and it's shared by Chile and Argentina. It's possible to go from the continent to the island by ferry from Punta Arenas to Porvenir, the biggest city in the Chilean side, now home to around 7,000 people. During this 2-hour trip, we can see different kinds of birds, dolphins, and whales. Porvenir has a square, city hall, general service offices and houses, all surrounded by hills, ocean, and pampas. Although it wasn't always like this. In fact, the change started no more than 140 years ago. For over 10,000 years, Karwkynká has been Selk'nam territory, and Selk'nam people have always known how to observe and engage with nature, when and what to hunt, when and how many eggs recollect from one or another species, when is the best time to recollect shellfishes. When everybody believed there was not even one Selk'nam alive, we still learned generation after generation how to be one with nature, with the planet, with our island. When you feel and breathe the peace of Karwkynká, it's easier to imagine how life was back in the days, when guanacos were not only a beautiful animal in the landscape and a tasty meat. When an animal was hunted, everything was used: leather for clothes and shoes, fat to cover the body, bones for utensils and jewelry. Nowadays, we may be still learning what couldn't be taught by our old ones. We are in the process of knowing the island. Life back then was no easy. Weather before climate change in those latitudes was rough, with snowy winters and cold summers. Still life was peaceful, respectful. Earth wasn't considered as an economic resource. Until second half of 19th century, Selk'nam people were transhumans, moving inside the harrowing according to the season and how much their presence impacted a living area during the time they spent there. They never ate all they found, because more birds had to be born next season, more berries had to grow next season. Their presence didn't change natural cycle of life. My family was captured and exiled from Karwkynká during the last years of 19th century, and after over a century we started to call Tierra del Fuego home again. But we didn't find the island how we expected to. Urban area in Porvenir is full of garbage, mainly in the bay, where there's a lot of evidence of parties. People go to drink beer or wine, eat some snacks, but when they leave, all the cans, bottles, plastics bags, etc. are left behind. Smokers are also a big problem. In this part of Chile, people are used to smoke and throw the fag ends. In some cases, it is even a competition. Who throw it farther away? This garbage situation is really bad. But residents are not the main threat to our environment. In the island shores, we can see how the currents drag trash from other places, not only from Punta Arenas, but also from other countries. It is easy to find broken domestic articles, used tires, parts of cars, broken electronic devices, shoes, etc. We don't know why birds are dying, but it's easy to find them on the shores, surrounded by trash. Could be natural causes, or their diet full of plastic. Another direct human threat has to be with big companies in salmon industry. There is a river in Porvenir that should end in the bay, but somehow it is affected. By the time it reaches the bay, there is almost no water passing through concrete. How does it affect the ecosystem? There's no studies about it yet, only denial. Company has always said that they don't use this water at all. Of course the wind is no game either. The whole island is constantly under strong winds, capable of transport garbage like it was just dust. Often you have to take used masks, dirty bags, and other stuff off your backyard. But if we go briefly back to direct human threat to Karwkynká's ecosystem, we should go south to Timokil in the forest area in the early 2022. We had a forest fire that consumed over 1,300 hectares. Even more south, there is unregulated tourism in Jackson Bay. Private tours go unauthorized and disturb fauna. They leave their garbage behind that, thanks also to the current, ended up in big garbage fields. It doesn't matter where you are, your soil, your rivers, your oceans, your wind, they are all connected to every soil, river, ocean, and wind around the planet. You might think one plastic bag is irrelevant and insignificant. Nothing further from the truth. Sometimes this is enough to get an animal killed, and sometimes it just travels. We can't change the currents and the winds, but we can definitely make a difference to improve our own environment.